Hey guys, it's Kurohe from Kimono Dungeon, and welcome back to my channel if you're a recurring subscriber. And if you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for watching my video. In this video, I did want to talk about making friends in the furry fandom. I know for a lot of us that are any age really, making friends can be hard organically or inorganically, and even within the furry fandom, a lot of us still struggle with trying to find friends in the fandom. So we might not necessarily know how or what to do to make like-minded friends, or we might not necessarily know what to say or how to act when we do interact with people. So in this video, I have my top 6 ways that I have been able to make friends within the furry fandom. And for this, I am trying to stick with some more obvious ones, but I wanted to share some less obvious ones that you might not have ever thought of before. And that segues me into my first one, which is join or play online forum-based games that have a high furry population. For some of you, you might not really be into this, but just joining the chat rooms and the chat groups on these games might be a great place for you to meet like-minded individuals. For example, the game Flight Rising, or Chicken Smoothie, or even, yes, it is a little dated, but Neopets. These games are all anthropomorphic based, of course, so of course they're going to garner a higher furry population. But consider joining a game like this and then participate in the chat rooms or the different posts and topics that are there. There's tons of artists on those games, and if you just go into the forum section, I guarantee you'll find someone talking about the furry fandom, and then just chat them up and participate in group discussions, and eventually you might be able to make friends, and you can DM or private message these people, ask to chat with them more about the fandom, and try and build a friendship that way. I have actually met 2 of my furry friends from Flight Rising, so it's definitely something to consider. It's a little bit less conventional than the usual ways, but still very viable if you want to make some online friends. For my second way of making friends within the furry fandom, try to join a Discord or a Telegram group based around furries or fursuit making. I'm a fursuit maker, of course, so I am in several Discord groups and Telegram chats where I talk to other fursuit makers. It's a great way to talk to people, be social, and if you develop enough of a relationship with another maker or another furry, then you can start chatting off on the side and making friends that way. And over time, which, of course, friendships always take time. Please remember that friendships take time. They're not just gonna happen. But if you work on that relationship long enough, you're eventually going to make friends with some of these people. They're going to ask to meet you at a con, or maybe chat with you one-on-one on the side. Maybe you'll video chat. It really depends on the person. You're not going to make friends with someone unless you interact. You gotta be social. And Discord, Telegram, or even forums dedicated to specific interests. Like I think even Fur Affinity has forums. Like if you just talk to people online in these forums, eventually you'll make some friends. And I feel like a lot of people forget that these groups are a great way to meet people. You can even join groups on, say, Facebook. I know there's a ton of furry Facebook groups. There's fursuit makers, furry fans, furry art fans. It's very easy. Just find a common interest, start talking about that common interest, and eventually you're gonna make some friends. You just gotta remember to be patient. Don't try and force the relationship. If it's gonna happen, it'll happen naturally, because no one likes to be forced into a friendship they don't want to be. Eventually it'll happen, and sometimes it might not, but that's okay, that's part of life. Just remember, don't force the person if they don't want to, because if you force them, they're gonna want to be your friend a lot less. And of course this leads me into my third point. That leads me into my third point, which is participate on actual social media. So I mean, like, participate in Furry TikTok, participate in Fursuit Friday on Twitter, which is huge. Make comments on people's posts, Post your own if you have a fursuit or have art of your fursona. Make content or interact with people's content. The more you talk to someone, the more they're going to remember you, and they're going to start recognizing you, and then that'll open up for conversation. I have several people on my TikTok and my Instagram. I have several people on my TikTok and Instagram that have become regulars that will comment on my content that I post. And I've started to recognize who these people are, and they actually follow me on both Instagram and TikTok. So I now recognize these people, and I talk to them every time they post. And it's gotten to the point where if they DM'd me or private messaged me, I would interact with them. I talk to them because I know them. They've developed that relationship with me over the past few months. Now, granted, I'm a nice person. If anyone messages me, I'm gonna respond, at least for a little bit. So really, it just depends on who you are as a person, and if you want to talk. Definitely work on building that rapport with someone, because that is super important. And don't just comment with emojis or say nice job or slide into someone's DM saying hey 20 times. No, don't do that.
Well, that's not cool.
But actually have a meaningful conversation. Contribute. Ask questions. Give thorough responses. Give people enough information that they can carry out the conversation with you. Add to it, and it's like building blocks. Think of it as you're building a tower, and at the top is your reward of friendship. I think with social media, a lot of us have forgotten how to build and maintain friendships. And I know some of us are a little socially anxious or socially inept. I myself get anxious quite a bit. It's normal. It's fine. But just understand that if you're anxious, other people are too, so don't worry about it. And another one you might want to consider, if you're the type of person that likes to do this, host live chats or host live streams or start your own Discord server. Do something where if people are interacting with you, bring people to you. You know, post about it on your social media or just start a live on Instagram or TikTok. I'm working on preparing to start doing lives on TikTok myself of fursuit building. If you're trying to build your first fursuit or building your 10th or 20th, post a live. Tons of people love to watch others make fursuits. People will come and chat with you. They'll ask questions. You'll be able to talk to people, meet new people. And if you do your lives enough, regulars will start to come. You'll recognize who these people are. You'll be able to make friends that way. And it'll be all you're doing. Same thing if you're an artist, whether that's drawing or music, or heck, you could even do a live of you walking the dog and wanting to talk. You can do almost anything you want, and it's a great way to get others to talk with you. Something to try. Might not be for you. It is definitely for probably the ones that don't mind sharing parts of their life with others. If you aren't having much success with talking to people, bringing people to you is a great way because you kind of control that situation. And for my fifth one, and this is one of the more obvious ones, probably one of the best ways to make friends in my opinion, is to attend a local fur meet. You know, just go on Facebook or go on Meetup, depending on where they're hosted, and find like a local furry group in your state, in your city. There's almost always going to be a group of people that you can meet in real life. And what is a better way than making friends that way? Honestly, I was skeptical about attending meetups because I was not wanting to interact with strangers I didn't know. I was worried it was going to be awkward, but it ended up actually being the best way for me to make my initial group of friends in the fandom. My first fur meet was a bowling meet, and we all went to the local bowling alley and we rented like 10 different lanes and just hung out and bowled in our fursuits. I probably have 10 or so friends from that group. I thought I was gonna have a terrible time. I ended up having the best time of my life. Now, I didn't get those 10 friends immediately. I continued to go, the same people went, and over time I became friends with all of those people. Since then, a lot of those friends have moved away, but I still stay in touch with them, and I don't know where I would have been in the fandom if I hadn't attended those meetups. And of course, if you're worried about going alone, talk to the organizer. Let them know that you're new and see if they can introduce you to people. If it's a Facebook group, post in that meetup, letting everyone know that you're new and you want to talk to people. And people are going to go out of their way to make sure they introduce themselves to you. Everyone in the fandom is in the same position as you are, or they once were. So don't worry if you don't know anyone. Everyone started at that point at some point in their life. And they're going to work extra hard to make sure that you don't feel left out. Or if they don't say anything to you, that's not a group you want to be in, and screw them and go somewhere else. And of course, if there's no local meetups around you, consider starting one. You don't have to wait around for someone else to do it. If you want to make friends in the furry fandom, start a meetup. In the beginning, there may only be like 3 or 4 people that attend, but if you keep doing them enough, those people are going to tell their friends, and they're going to tell their friends, and it's going to snowball. And over time, it's going to get bigger and bigger. Who knows? Maybe it'll get so out of hand that you have sort of like a little con going on. I know at one point my local group got that big to the point where there was like almost 100 people attending some stuff. So it is possible to get a pretty big group going. Just depends on how active you are and how much you want to do with people. Of course, that is a big responsibility to take on. And of course, if all else fails, my 6th point in how to make furry friends is attend a con. Yes. This is the most obvious one, but everyone is there for the exact same reason. It is a furry convention. Everyone there is there to make friends with furries, hang out with their friends who are furries, try new things with furries. A weekend completely dedicated to furry fun. So what better place to meet other furries? If you talk to people online and they're at the con that you're at, great way to meet them in person and build upon that already built foundation of friendship. That's why social media and interacting with people is so important. Just going up to someone that you creep on social media and have never talked to before isn't gonna work. It's gonna be weird. That person's gonna be weirded out. You're not gonna know what to talk about because you don't know what they're into, what they like, what they don't like. If you have built that foundation, figured out what they like and don't like, talk to them, maybe shared similar interests, then you're going to have a much better foundation to go off of when you actually see them in person. And of course, you can attend panels and groups and find people that have the exact same interests as you. I love to attend the dance competitions, and I love to attend the fursuit building panels. So in each of those, I'm going to meet like-minded people who, one, either like to dance or watch others dance. And of course, in the fursuit panels, I'm gonna meet other fursuit makers or those that are thinking about making a fursuit. Like-minded people, great way to make friends because you have already a big interest, similar topic to talk about. And you might be able to talk about it endlessly if you're as crazy about it as I am. And there's even meetups for similar age groups. There's the LGBTQ furs. I'm one of the LGBTQ furs. So I would attend those and meet other lesbian, gay, bi, trans, everything under the umbrella furs, and we would have a similar interest. Also, if you're a big gamer, you can attend any gaming panels, or you can host a game session in the den or something, wherever they might host it. If you like to play cards, host a card game. Again, bring people to you. Literally, your possibilities are endless at a con. It's wonderful. So highly, highly recommend attending cons if you can. Doesn't have to be big cons like Midwest Fur Fest or Anthrocon. It could be a very small con, 2,000-3,000 versus almost like 10,000 or whatever it is. Much less daunting. Still big enough to be fun, but you don't have the anxiety of having to meet 20 different people versus maybe meeting like 3 or 4 people. Much easier to manage, much easier to keep track of your time, much less stressful environment overall. If you are considering going to a con, I highly recommend it. If you're on the fence but want to make some friends, definitely a great way to do it. Those are my 6 ways of making friends within the furry fandom. Do you agree with my 6? Do you have a different one that you like to do to make friends? If you do, please share it in the comments down below. And of course, if you liked this video, please consider liking and subscribing, as it really does help me and my channel. And it lets me know that the content I'm putting out is something worth watching. But that is all for this episode, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye!